It wasn't just the affair, it was the moment I realized that she had never valued what we had as much as I thought she did. That moment came crashing down on me one evening when I saw a photo of Emily on Instagram. A photo I wasn't supposed to see. You see, she was laughing in that photo, her head thrown back in that way I used to love, her arm around someone who was not me. It was Jake, the man she had once loved, the man from her past. But what shook me wasn't the fact that he was there, it was the way she looked at him, the way she held him, the way their chemistry radiated through the screen. And I could feel it, the betrayal. It cut deeper than any lie she had ever told me. I had been blind, so blind. Her smile in that picture, that stupid, carefree smile, told me everything I needed to know. She hadn't just slipped up. She had been hiding this behind my back for months, playing me like a fool. And just like that, everything shattered. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. It was as if someone had torn out my soul and left me to bleed. When I confronted her about it, she gave me the usual excuse: "I never wanted to hurt you. It just happened." I could feel my blood boiling as I listened. It just happened. Those words were her armor, her escape from responsibility. Every time we fought, every time she'd done something wrong, she would hide behind that same excuse. But not this time. I was done being the fool. I looked at her, her nervous eyes, the trembling in her hands as she tried to convince me it didn't mean anything, and I realized something. I had been so focused on fixing us that I never noticed how broken I was becoming. She had drained me. She had taken everything and given me nothing in return. I knew I couldn't just walk away. I couldn't just let her continue thinking she could do this and get away with it. But I wasn't going to confront her with anger. No, I had a different plan. I was going to show her the consequences of her choices without a single word of rage. And that's when the real revenge began. I left her standing there, her voice fading into the background as I walked out. I didn't shout, didn't scream. I just let the silence between us hang in the air like a dark cloud. My mind was racing, but I had already decided. This was my moment. I started with the house, the place where all our memories, good and bad, had been built. The home that was supposed to be our forever. But now, it was nothing but a reminder of everything she had stolen from me. It wasn't just a house, it was the last piece of my trust, the last symbol of my hope in us. I sold everything. The house, the furniture, the car, gone. All of it. I made sure the deal was done quickly, behind the scenes, without her knowledge. The place that was once our home became a memory, erased in an instant. And when it was all done, I called her. I didn't wait for the right moment. I created it. "I sold the house," I said, my voice steady, unshaken. There was a long silence on the other end. I could hear her breath catch, as if the ground beneath her was crumbling. "What do you mean?" she finally whispered, panic creeping into her voice. "It's gone. The house, the car, the furniture, everything." I could feel her mind racing, trying to make sense of what was happening. But there was no fixing this. It was too late. "Please," she begged, her voice breaking. "You can't do this. We had plans. We were supposed to build a future." She was begging. Begging for the life she thought she could have with me while still carrying Jake in her heart. And that's when I knew this wasn't just about taking away material things. This was about showing her that I was done. She had taken me for granted for too long. "You chose Jake," I said. "I'm choosing myself. I'm done, Emily. We're done." And with that, I hung up the phone. I didn't need to hear her sobbing. I didn't need to hear her sobbing. I didn't need to hear anything. The decision had already been made. The next day, I packed my bags and walked out of the apartment alone. There were no more goodbyes, no last words, just the sound of my footsteps echoing as I left the past behind. I moved into a new place, one that was mine, one that would be filled with my memories, not hers. I took back the life she thought she could destroy. I focused on myself, my healing, my future. I threw myself into work, into the gym, into everything that had been put on hold because of her. I surrounded myself with people who loved me, not for what I could give them, but for who I was. Weeks passed, and Emily reached out. At first, it was a text, then a call, and even a visit, but I ignored them all. I wasn't the same man anymore. She didn't deserve my time, and I didn't owe her anything. But then, the real payback came. I didn't know it at first, but word got out. She started hearing about how I was thriving, how I was stronger, better, and happier than I'd ever been. People I hadn't seen in years came back into my life, telling me how great I looked, how confident I was. And that was when the real revenge hit her. She couldn't stand it. The thought that I was moving on so effortlessly, living a life that didn't need her, that was more painful than any argument we'd ever had. She saw me, not just surviving, but thriving. And that, in the end, was the most powerful thing I could have done. I didn't need to humiliate her. I didn't need to ruin her life. I didn't need to retaliate in the way she thought I would. I simply needed to live my life better than she ever could have imagined. And that's exactly what I did. So, while she's stuck in the past, regretful, hoping I'll come back, I'm out here, living my best life, thriving in ways she never saw coming. Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't in the punishment, it's in the victory. And in the end, I won. She didn't just lose me. She lost the man I could have been with her, the man she thought she knew. But what she didn't realize was that she had never truly known me at all.